Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Boris Shigota from Faculty of Engineering, University of Rijeka. So today I will be presenting a basic first intro to exercises for CoppeliaSim Edu on our class Evolutionary Robotics. This is recorded for both our regular students and for our Erasmus students. And it's going to just go over the basics of CoppeliaSim, which we can see here, hopefully. What is CoppeliaSim? CoppeliaSim was previously known as VREP. It's been CoppeliaSim for a few years now. It allows for the creation of these scenes within which we can simulate the behavior of various objects, but it's commonly used for robotics. So what can we do in CoppeliaSim? Well, looking at the graphical interface, we have commands. The command interface here that's going to print any messages that we get, and we can use lower commands if we want to. We have the scene view here. We have elements of our scene that we can manipulate. We have our model browser. We have some additional settings. Here we can directly record videos within it. We can add multiple layers and so on and so forth. We can turn on and off these elements such as model browser and similar to get a bit more space. Okay, we have this ribbon here that allows us here to manipulate and move around our view. You can obviously do this with mouse shortcuts. You can just have it here by default. Click and move. Use your middle mouse wheel click to move and scroll your wheel to zoom in and out. We have this for moving the object within the scene. Undo, redo. We can select which of the physics engines we're going to use, and we have some simulation controls here. Okay, so the first step we're going to do here is we're going to go here into the model browser and add an object. There are a lot of robots here. I'm going to select this steampunk R2D2. Now if we go over here and run the simulation, we're going to see that the robot just moves in a straight line. There are a couple of elements here, so if we go into this scene view, we can click on it and see that we have different elements, individual sensors. Click on this next to the name, so each object in the scene will have a name, and we can change it. Just type whatever we want and press enter. We're going to have this icon left to it before the name to just define certain properties of the object as a whole, and we're going to have this little script icon that we can click to access the script of the robot. That's going to control how it moves and get its sensors and so on and so forth. We're going to go over that in more detail. Now we're going to add, we can, just to mention, we can reach the codes, the scripts by going to tools, just selecting scripts and selecting the appropriate object. Now we're going to add a simple object, so we're going to add, and we have a lot of different things we can add. We're going to use a primitive shape, and we're going to add a cuboid, and we're going to define its dimensions. Keep a note that this is in meters, and CoppeliaSim uses scientific notation, so it's 1 to the power of minus 1, that would be 10 centimeters. I'm just going to create one that's 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter here. By clicking on this, we can move it, so we can either give it an absolute position. For example, if I want to move it according to this, I can, like, I want it minus 0.5 meters in this direction according to here the axis, and it's going to move. Or if I want to move it relative to its current position, let's say I'm going to move it a bit more, but I'm not sure how much. I can go minus 0.05 and just translate it step by step. Or I can just click on it and move it manually, and I can select along which axis I want to move it. So if I want to move it just along the x-axis, I can select that, or if I want to move it along x, y, or z axis as well. Okay, so now that we have here this, we have an object. Let's see what happens if we run the simulation now, and yeah, the robot will just crash into it, move it out of the way, and keep going. That's not necessarily what we want, especially since this robot has some sensors for us. So for our cuboid to be able to be detected by the sensor, we're going to go select it in the sim hierarchy and click on its properties, double click, go to the common tab and select it as collidable, detectable and measurable. And now when we close that, we can run the simulation again, and we can see that the sensors are going to detect it, and it just happens to be in a position where our built-in robot gets stuck. So we're going to move it just a bit, and our robot should find a way out of it. If we move this, so in the same way we had translation, we also have rotation or orientation, which we can modify globally or step by step. I'm just going to use mouse rotation over the z-axis here, because for demonstration purposes like this it's simple to just use our mouse, and I'm going to move it here. Now we can see we'll get a different deflection on our robot because the object is in a different position, and we can obviously copy paste various objects and all of them will be detectable. Okay, so that's it for the initial presentation. If you have any questions, you're my student, you know how to email me, and if you aren't my student, and you stumbled across this somehow, just ask in the comments below and I'll try to answer it. Okay, thank you very much, and see you at the next exercise.